Hey, what's going on? Today I thought I'd do a quick video on flying drones in Nova Scotia. I've noticed on social media where people are posting pictures, different Facebook groups, that people don't appear to know the rules and the laws of where you can and can't fly a drone in Nova Scotia. Different rules, they're subjective whether or not I agree with them, but the law is the law. A lot of them are for safety reasons or for conservation. And we all got to follow them whether we agree with them or not. And I think there's probably a lot of people that maybe they got a drone for Christmas, or they've got something like a Mavic Mini. They've come down quite a bit in price, and they're just as reliable and as good as some of the older Phantoms and Mavics that are out there. So there's just quite a few people that have them. I thought I'd touch really quick on a few things. So the subjects I'm going to cover on this video, in case you don't know, they're going to be places in Nova Scotia that you can't fly a drone. So I'm going to go over the obvious things like near airports, helipads. Then we have national parks, provincial parks. And on top of all that, there's special occurrences that come up, like as if there's skydiving going on somewhere, or parachuting, parajumping, different disasters that come up. And you might not know that you can't fly a drone in these places that you normally can. I'm going to tell you where and how to find that information. I also have compiled a quick map, and I have a couple other resources I'm going to share with you. So first thing I want to talk about is the obvious things, and that's airports and aerodromes, just different places that aircraft fly and land, and that could be anything from a small private landing strip, or a small private commercial helicopter landing pad, to a helicopter landing pad located at a hospital, and then to a full-on international airport. It's good to know where these things are. So the most obvious and biggest ones in Nova Scotia are going to be the Stanfield International Airport, or also known as a Halifax Airport. You can't come within 7 kilometers of this airport. At least the last time I checked, the law might have changed. So there's also the air bases in Nova Scotia, like Shearwater and Greenwood. The map I have, I've indicated all the airports and helipads. So if you are traveling somewhere you're not familiar with, it's advisable you can quickly check on this this map that I have in the description, just to see if you're near a helipad or an airport. It's pretty straightforward. We have one icon here for helicopter landing pads, and then this one that is probably supposed to be a bank. This is actually a prison. This is the Spring Hill Penitentiary. We have airports, and then this little tree, this indicates a provincial park. Some of the provincial parks, I had enough memory left on my map or space that I could draw boundaries. I did eventually run into that, so there's not a boundary drawn for every provincial park, but these trees, they indicate a provincial park. Airplanes indicate an airport. And finally, we have the national parks. So there is 3 national parks. We have the Cape Breton's Highlands National Park here. Over here we have Kejimkujik, and there's also the Keji Seaside. I'll get that indicated on here before I publish the final map. I've also in black drawn boundaries, rough boundaries around airports and helipads, Shearwater, Greenwood, just to give you a rough idea if you're within that no-fly zone. Next thing I want to mention to people is we have 2 national parks in Nova Scotia. If you're in Cape Breton, you should really make sure you're not in a national park, because half of Cape Breton is a national park. The Cape Breton Highlands are all national park. Basically, if you're in Cape Breton and it looks like a beautiful spot to fly the drone, you probably can't. So make sure to check if you're in a national park. Going forward, we have provincial parks, and there's a whole bunch of provincial parks. They just have recently, within the last 2 years, have put explicit no drone flying on their websites, on their properties. I've flown my drone over areas that are provincial parks from outside those boundaries in the past. You just can't land and take off in national and provincial parks technically, and I've gone always by the technical guidelines and advice from people. You can fly outside the boundaries of these places and get a view. You're on your own if you attempt to do that. I don't recommend doing anything without getting clearance from somebody who's running the show in these areas. But technically, if you happen to fly over a provincial or national park from with outside, you know, if you weren't aware you're flying over an area like that, I think you're fine. Do that at your own discretion. Anyway, I have this map also has most of the provincial parks. Basically, if you come to a public beach, check to see if it's a provincial park first, because you could get in trouble for taking off and landing in that area. Last thing I wanted to touch on with you are NOTAMS. They're pronounced different ways. It stands for Notice to Airmen. You can navigate to NavCan's plan.navcan.ca. They give you a search in the top left corner where you can enter in what's known as, I guess, a FIR or flight information regions, where I have the little airplane or helicopter icons. If you click on each one of them, I've indicated the FIR. You can copy that code. So then you head over to plan.navcanada.ca, and this is where you can enter the FIR and search NOTAMS. So I'm just pasting the Debert site in here, and I'm going to uncheck everything here other than NOTAM. It's just how I was read up to do it. And then I got the information I have on NOTAM with much more in-depth information is available from Don Drones On. I'll have a link to that in the site. You can get tons of very useful information from his YouTube channel. I just basically want to spread the awareness of where you shouldn't fly. If you want anything in-depth, you should visit Don's site. So now I hit search, and here are the NOTAMs. You can search through them. Again, Don teaches you how to read them. So you can see here, this is the first one that comes up. All aircraft owned, chartered, or operated, or otherwise controlled by a person connected with Russia or which is registered in Russia, and all operations holding an air operator certificate issued by the Russian Federation authorities are prohibited to enter this area. So I mean, that's not going to pertain to you, at least I don't think. But you can scroll through all these, and if there was something that you need to be aware of in the area, it would come up here. That could be some type of a flight drill, or parachuting, or it could be some type of an emergency situation that you wouldn't know of. So this is where you would check that. You go to my map, you click on the airport or the aerodrome or the helipad, and you take the little 4-digit code, you copy and paste it in here, search NOTAMs, and then take a look. If you really want to get a good concise app, Don's app is the bee's knees for Canadian drone apps. For all this information, Don keeps them up to date. Strongly recommend the app. NavCan also has an app that you can download on iOS or Android. I recommend getting one of those. They're free. They basically give you an idea whether you can and should fly somewhere. So again, links for all this and my own personal map I made in the description. It's free, and feel free to use it. It's just a basic guideline. I'm not taking any responsibility if you fly somewhere based on that and it's a little out of date or the boundaries are off or something. It's just a guideline to help you know where you should research. If you look at the map and there's a couple indicators on the map, or a boundary or a shape of some sort, or a couple icons, you should take the time to investigate these areas before you head out and fly. Just want to encourage safe but responsible drone piloting, and so we can all get out there and enjoy the skies and get beautiful pictures and videos and show off our beautiful province all year round. Anyway, thanks for sticking along to the end of the video, guys. I'll see you in the next one.